Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Well, what do you do when you're lying in bed and can't really move because your back's so sore? Well, you do videos. So here's another one. So, you know, it's kind of like diabetics have to be perfect. Come on, we've all lived it. That we always have to live up to other people's standards. And that's ludicrous. Because you and your doctor set your standards. And that you need to live by. But having someone else say, oh well, no, you should be doing this. And oh well, oh no, you're not doing that well because of this. It's always irks me. Like, how do you know what's going on in my life? Well, here, I tell you a lot of it, but people have always known better. You know, if it's so damn good, why aren't you doing it all the time? I could bet you a lot of the vendors who sell these miraculous supplements online don't ever really use it. There's a lot to do, but a lot don't. And people need to stop, I wouldn't say harassing, but we will never live up to their standards. No matter what they do, it's kind of like, oh well, you're not getting good control because of this. You know, I don't really think that anyone could really tell me better than my doctors what I should be doing. You know, there's one that will see me having a dessert and it's, oh well, you can't have that, you're a diabetic. And it's like, yes, I'm a diabetic, but I'm also human. Steering away from sugar is great, but steering away from anything and doing it because other people tell you to do that is stupid. And I don't mean you're dumb. Doing that action is stupid. Because I just said it, we're all human. We all like something sweet. But when I was first diagnosed, it was kind of like, oh well, you can't have any sweets, and you can't do this, and you can't have that. And they kind of flip their mind thinking. And sometimes you can have these things, but as I've said in many other videos, you can't have it every day. And trust me, as you can probably tell from my weight, I'm a sweet liker. Now, lately all my sweets have come from sugars that I need to keep me alive. I've had a low blood sugar. There, I'm coming closer. But even if I wanted them, I just have to account for them. But it's kind of like, well, my grandmother has had diabetes for 20 years. Well, wonderful for your grandmother. And when I try to introduce that it's, there's different types of diabetes, oh, you're just saying that. It's kind of like they all know better than we do. And it's frustrating because people will constantly do this. It's not sort of a one-off thing. I can remember we would go when I worked for the trading department years ago. We would go out for a lunch and everyone else would have a dessert. But I can remember the glares I used to get. And it's almost like you have to live by so strict guidelines that you can't do anything else but fail. Come on. We should all be able to enjoy things. Now, I honestly think, and that over the years, we've started to become overindulgent, and I can see it all the time. I mean, the amount of stuff that's advertised on TV about food, and oh yes, oh, they've added so much sugar and everything to food that it's ridiculous. And people will tell you, oh no, you have to live because you're a diabetic. You can't have this and this and this, and they'll stuff their face at the same time. Oh, I thought you were a diabetic. Yeah, okay, we've established that. But, I think what they have in their minds, if they had to live that way for a month, granted, they may lose weight and, they may feel better without having sugar in the bloodstream, but they would be able to keep it up long term. And so often people forget that. And I know this seems a little bit whining, but sometimes we just have to get this off our chest. And it's kind of like, you guys should live our life. And there was sort of study, not a study, well, maybe it was, where they had people try to live a life as a diabetic, and they would have times, or I guess nowadays it would be easier because it would just flash out on your TV and saying, oh well, you're now starting to sweat. And this would allow them to live. And they were injecting saline solution. They weren't obviously taking insulin. But I keep thinking how good that test would be for people I know. And, I'm sure they'd learn quickly. And I thought a lot about this while I was lying in the hospital and while I got out. I still have to live up to other people's expectations. And I've taken friends with me to a diabetic clinic with me to sort of learn and to hear from someone else that I can do certain things. So stop living up to other people. You're you. And I said that about comparing yourself to other diabetics. But don't let people tell you how you should be the perfect diabetic. Think about it. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye now.